6 female correctional officers have been indicted in New York. One is a female captain out of the Manhattan detention complex known as the Tombs for illegal strip searches and body cavity searches. Now let me say one thing. They are alleged to have done this. They have been indicted. Now that doesn't mean they're guilty. And tomorrow, I believe, we're going to, on Tuesday, May 7th, they're going to release the indictment, and it will talk about some of the details. So I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know that I have seen people indicted in corrections under federal or state investigations and come out with a not guilty verdict. I've even seen cases dropped, and in some cases they have been guilty. So innocent until proven guilty. But let's talk about how this probably started, and let's see how close I am when the indictment comes out. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, that some of the visitors who were strip searched are the ones that reported the incident to someone in an authoritative position, and then an investigation began, and that's how we got here. There's a videotape you're going to see here in just a second of the actual news out of New York, so you can hear the full explanation without me giving it to you. But I just want to say that an indictment does not mean you're guilty. We have to wait and see what happens and how this case plays out. Definitely an investigation was conducted. I'd like to see what that investigation has to say. Now remember, strip searches are legal on visitors as long as they sign the consent form. So probably consent forms were not signed in this, or else how would these charges or indictments be coming about? We'll have to see. If there were consent forms signed, then that's one issue in favor of the officers. They're charged with unlawful imprisonment, official misconduct, falsifying records, and conspiracy. Those are the 4 charges for unlawful strip search. So remember, folks, let's use this as a training tool, no matter how this turns out. Always follow your agency's policies and procedures, and you will not end up in this predicament. Always get the consent forms to strip searches signed by visitors to cover your behind. Okay? And we will see how this plays out and what happens to these officers. We'll see what the indictment says. We'll probably learn some things from the investigative report here in the near future. So you make the call from what you hear from the news. Now, we don't have all the details, so you cannot make an appropriate call. But this is not good. This is a sad thing. We hate to see this happen. Watch the news video, see what you think, and then let's wait and see what happens in the future and how this thing plays out. Gary York, True Prison Stories. Here's the video now from the newscast.
Several city correction officers are facing serious charges that will be announced tomorrow. New York One criminal justice reporter Dean Meminger found out about the charges today, and he's joining me by phone with exclusive details. So, Dean, what do we know?
Well, Anthony, several law enforcement officials and sources are speaking to me about this, but the sources are telling me that 6 female correction officers, including a captain, are accused of several crimes, and they have been indicted, but that indictment will be unsealed tomorrow in Manhattan court, and the officers are scheduled to turn themselves in tomorrow. These are 6 correction officers who work for the city, but they work out of the Manhattan detention complex in Lower Manhattan, often known as the Tombs. Now, some of the charges they are facing: unlawful imprisonment, official misconduct, falsifying records, and conspiracy. Now, I am told by sources that some of the charges include that these officers are accused of unlawful strip searches and unlawful cavity searches of female visitors to the MDC or the Tombs. Now, law enforcement officials say strip searches and cavity searches are legal, Anthony, but a visitor must consent to those searches. So that is the issue here. And once again, it's 6 officers who work with visitors coming in to the Manhattan detention complex, and the officers are expected to turn themselves in tomorrow morning and also face a judge at Manhattan State Supreme Court.
All right, Dean Meminger with the exclusive details. Dean, thanks for that.